like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I am recording this way, way in the past. It's really not like me. I like to try and get a little bit ahead, but not this much ahead. I'm recording this, what is it, in July. And it's probably not going out to August. I guess there's around August 3rd. Oh, it's my birthday. August 3rd. I'm recording on July 27th, which is a Wednesday. I'm probably putting out on August 3rd, which is my birthday, which I think is a Wednesday as well. I don't know. I'm trying to get ahead because on Sunday, don't have to do the bloody math to come up with a date. Okay, well, if Wednesday is 3rd, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Wednesday the 7th is a big, big Jewish fast day, which I normally do a live stream, but I'm going to be obviously off there because we fast. I mean, don't eat a thing for 25 bloody hours, right? Unless the Messiah comes before then, which, God, am I rooting for this year, just so we don't have to do this bloody fast. And it's super miserable. I'm telling you, the morning you go to synagogue and you do these like extra long, like prayers. They're basically really depressing poems written in ancient Amharic, ancient Hebrew, which you don't really understand, but they just talk about all these terrible things that went down. There's a special one written for the Holocaust as well. They put in there because you know what, it goes on forever, and you're not allowed to sit on a bloody chair. Right, you got to sit and go, I sit on a chair. I can't do it, mate. I'm too old. Until midday. It's just a freaking nightmare. So the point is this. If I haven't dissuaded you, anybody thinking that, should I convert to Judaism? I hope I dissuaded you. Run! Right, firstly, enjoy shrimp and lobster and bacon. They're all fantastic, okay? Let me tell you, don't give those up so easily. But also, everything's much more expensive. But also, you got stuff like this as well. So that's coming up on Sunday. On Sunday. So I'm trying to get ahead, making a few videos, so I have content in hand because I'm not going to be live streaming anyway. Which is why we're here. We're here because Rusty Davies. Now, Rusty Davies, bit of a confusing figure. I think it's a bit of a confusing figure because, he's a multifaceted human being. And none of us really are completely consistent, right? So I really think his new Doctor Who is going to be good. I really think it's going to be for everybody and entertaining. He's been saying a lot of stuff, he hasn't really said it. He said a fair amount of stuff recently that could strongly make you think that's not the case, right? But I just believe his writing instincts are paramount. I really, really genuinely do. And oh boy, do I hope I'm right with that. But anyway, he's been a more confusing figure for the other side of the cultural aisle. We are in somewhat a culture war, not somewhat, complete culture war. And I find the other side, I know we all say the same things about each other, right? And we say exactly the same things about each other. That's because I think a great defense is an attack, and an even greater defense is attacking someone by accusing them of doing the things that you're doing. Because your brain, most people's brains just aren't that evil to comprehend it. To like that, what? No, but that's what. But the people do that. I've more than one time I have seen, like, we had a guy in our thankfully he's moved away now, in our local town whose son was accused of by many people, right? And they had a police investigation of sexual impropriety with children, right? But the first thing he did, the father's guy, was when it's a small community, right? We are everybody knows each other's business, everybody lives in each other's pockets, and it's kind of nice, right? I do kind of like that. So they went to talk to him privately. They didn't want to get the police involved. So I think your son might have a problem. First thing he bloody did was report them to Child Protective Services, right? So now if he reports them, it looks like a tit for tat thing. It's what evil people do, right? It's what evil people do. And I think that's what's going on. I think that's why we're both saying exactly the same things. Anyway, they found Rusty Davies an even more confusing figure than And again, I don't want to divide us. If you like the Jodie Whittaker era, good for you. Really good for you. I hated it, but good, honestly, I just don't understand it, right? I really don't understand why me hating it means that you shouldn't like. I mean, unless you think you should do everything I say, which I think you should do that, right? Give me all your money, for example. Actually, not all your money, 50%. That'd be you know what? 30%. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling generous. Just give me 30% of your money, right? Do that. But if you're not in that, if you don't think that, why me hating it is just beyond me. Anyway, so Rusty Davies was a bit more confusing for them because it was an obvious admission of failure, right? An obvious admission of failure. And then every time they got excited about him, it was admitting that they failed. So why is that a problem? Because they can never admit they failed, right? Jodie Whittaker's era has been an absolute disaster. Like, in every way that one judges a disaster, although, again, it's not really the way things happen nowadays. And I'm recording this on Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday the 28th, when the American GDP figures, gross domestic product figures, come out. And it's expected to show shrinkage again instead of growth. And we have that on 2 quarters run. It's called a recession. That's why earlier this week they redefined recession, right? So, it's kind of the same thing. Jodie has just done so unbelievably badly in the role. I think because she's useless. Quite frankly, I think she's useless, given no direction, with awful scripts and horribly miscast. I mean, other than that, it's been perfect, right? Yeah. Other than looks, brains, personality, not a bad person. I don't know much about her personality, but it seems pretty dire from what I've seen. But who knows? Yeah, so it hasn't gone well. So, yeah, every time they talk about, Rusty Davies can fix this, they have to kind of admit that there's something broken, where they resolutely called anybody a racist and a bigot and all kinds of stupid names for saying it before now. So it's kind of a fun, a little bit of a funny way to go. Fine, before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack. All those things are fantastic. I mean, just freaking-tastic. Thank you very much. I am very, very appreciative for everybody who does all those things, especially the subscribe button. YouTube, really, it's funny. I was like, I wish I could remember what my subscriber number is. I think 3780 or something. I can't remember. I really genuinely can't remember. But it's been hovering around the 80 mark, right, for weeks, months, right? Months. And it keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. And I see my engagement, and I know what the figures should be, right? It's ridiculous. But what can you do? Listen, I am grateful for the platform. I will be grateful to the good Lord if he comes along and smites this platform, that we can all move to Rumble, right? I'll be grateful for that. I might actually be more grateful for that, quite frankly. But I am grateful for this platform. But like, share, and subscribe. All those things are very, very good. Sign up my Substack, because when they do eventually ban me, I mean, we're coming up to November, like these elections, where the party that YouTube very, very much likes is going to get its ass handed to it in a epic fashion, in a biblical fashion. And I really do think it's going to be biblical, right? So they are going to censor any content that they think isn't pro the party that they like, right? So I could well be kicked off the platform at any minute. Even saying groomer now is a derogatory word, even if you're referring to somebody actually grooming children. That's true. I mean, like, Tim Paul was kicked off Twitter for that. Very strange. We live in very, very strange. But if that happens, sign up my Substack, and you'll be informed. You'll be informed as the ongoings movements of me. Again, I post on Rumble. I have a backup channel. So like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are. Oh yes, you guessed it. Van Dabby Double Dozy. And my Substack is pretty darn awesome. I've been putting a bunch of stuff on there recently. Like I like using stuff from old Doctor Who magazines. I got like a huge digital archive, so I'm putting in backup strips and old news stories and Gallifrey and Guardian. I put in a couple of great old ads yesterday, one for Seven's models. Oh, Seven's were great. Stuart Evans models, he did Daleks, Cybermen, they were fantastic. I had a Cyberman and an Ice Warrior, and what can I say? I'm 50, actually. But if it's my birthday, I'm 52 today. There you go. Is it 52 or 51? 51 today. I wish I thought I brought them back with me when last time I was in England, but I have no idea whether they were gorgeous. Ice Warrior and a Shock Sideman, fantastic kits. I just wish that we could get them back again. Such a shame he vanished because they did great kits. He also had Creighton and Captain Black and Captain Scar. Oh man, now I think about it, I would have bought a whole collection of pretty much everything, right? Never mind. The times have passed. Anyway, that's my Substack. Also have a paid Substack. I said, what am I sending out? Probably sending out this month in it. My book called The Imperium, a love letter to telefancy 1960s. Beautiful artwork with Dominic Rancho. Very, very proud of this one, actually. I have to say, so that's probably going out this month, unless I'm still doing Biblical, where is this over here? Biblical is another book. You get at least one copy, maybe two a month, of this thing. Biblical Bible Stories, Atheist Creation, Rational Strokes. If I may give it a quick review, it's fantastic. It's fan-freaking-tastic. What did you expect me to say? Fine. Let's have a look at start looking at these stories. So we're going to start off with this. This is from last year, right? This is when it was first announced, and they were in a bit of a tizzy, right? They're like, through like, stained, tear-stained faces. They're like, it's good. Now, keep in mind that if Russell T Davies hadn't picked up the baton, Doctor Who would be cancelled, right? It wouldn't be going on in 2023, right? If that had not happened, I'd love to, we are going to hear it sooner or later because Russell T Davies likes to talk. Right, I mean, he can't stop talking, which is one of the reasons I like him. But we're going to hear the story of how he came back, but not till after Chibnall leaves. And he's always going to be respectful to Chibnall. I mean, even though, what did I hear the other day? That again, none of this is verifiable, but at the rap party of his show he's doing before Doctor, was it Vera? What's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Not Vera. Or is it? I really can't remember what it's called. He was drunk and talking about how much he hated the Christian era of Doctor Who. So it makes sense because he likes Doctor Who. So I can quite understand that. I mean, really, just look at Jodie Whittaker's face there. This is from one of the first trailers where she blew up the glass ceiling and she went, "Oh, silly me! Look at me! Yeah, you blew it up, darling. More that you blew up a glass bottom boat." Who was it? Doctor Who has confirmed Russell Davies to replace Chris Chibnall in the showrunner position of 2021. Here's why the decision is genius. Because again, this is just deflection, and it is quite glorious. So blah blah blah. Intro goes on forever. Taking over in 2016, Christian will reinvented Doctor Who completely. Yeah, he made it shit. Oh, what has Doctor Who not been before? It's been shit a couple of times, but I think I'm going to make it super shit. Like, unbelievably shit. The shittiest shit you've ever seen. Oh, okay. Well, that's a bold new direction you're taking in. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, people stopped buying it. People stopped giving a shit because it was shit, essentially. So taking over in 2016, Christian will reinvented Doctor Who completely with some of those bold changes worked. A female doctor, modern camera work. No, none of those things worked. I'm sorry. I'm not one of the guys that, no, it could never have been a female doctor. I think it could have worked if it was done with some vague form of intelligence, which Christian does not possess. I think that's fair to say. A vague form of intelligence which Christian clearly does not possess. Others did not. Rewriting canon with the timeless child, limiting the presence of established villains, and everything else, right? Everything. What did work in this season, in the era? The design of the Cybermen, basically it, right? I kind of like the Dalek ship as well. Actually, I have to tell you, I kind of like the Sex and the City guy. I thought he always struck me as being kind of charming. I would like more of him, right? I always enjoy him being on screen. Robinson, right? And I very rarely enjoy Doctor Who being on screen. So, but I wouldn't carry him over into another era. The wholesale reinvention triggered a downturn in critical reception and viewership. Yes, because it was shit. We're saying the same thing. After an initial boost, right? Today they have an article about comparing different debuts, like ratings. Why? To say Jodie Whittaker is the bestest ever. Because she had one of the bestest debuts, right? Which proves the basic premise on which this Doctor was founded on, that Britain is a fundamentally sexist, bigoted country, and that as is the Western world. It disproves that completely, because we were all like completely open to it. What we weren't open to is being lecturing, boring shit, right? That's what we were not open to. Where was it? And many would agree Trimble tried too hard to leave his stamp on the 60-year franchise. Maybe, or maybe he's just shit. I mean, I think you're overthinking it, quite frankly. By the way, another thing that I can't do during this week, in the run-up to this big fast on Sunday, there's no meat. You're not allowed to eat meat this week. So I don't know. Actually, it's pretty easy now. Now there's all that fake meat, like those fake hot dogs are just incredible, right? I can't tell the difference, right? I genuinely can't tell the difference. I think they're really good. Not so much for the fake fake steaks, although the fake ground meat is also excellent. We because in Judaism you can't mix meat and milk. Right, so whenever we have tacos, we use that. Oh, now in the mood for tacos. Maybe I'm having it tonight. It's so cool making this like so far in the past. Living the present of establishing that wholesale reinvention trigger. Okay, blah blah blah. I read all that. When Russell Davies revived the Doctor Who in 2005, he modernized it. He modernized the property completely, but maintained a firm grip on the past. Well, not really. I mean, yes and no. The firm grip on the past really only came with the second series, right? The first series, the only real links to the past we had was, well, we mentioned the Time War and the Dalek, right? I mean, yeah, you had alters in the first episode. It wasn't like disconnected from the classic series, but it wasn't connected either. It was only when they saw how well the nostalgia elements worked that they amped them up in the second year. Right, so the second year we got Sarah Jane Smith and Daleks versus Cybermen. You know, they amped it up. K9, yeah, all that stuff. They really K9 was great. I love that second season. I think that's probably one of K9's best stories. Right? What was it? School Reunion. Love it. Oh, and I love David Tennant's reaction when he goes, K9. It's like me seeing that. I just love that. if I haven't been clear already, I do. I quite enjoy that. Where are we up to? There's no better showrunner than to bring Doctor Who back to its roots and reclaim fans who have drifted away, like David Tennant saying goodbye to Rose in Babel Bay. Kind of what happened, really. I mean, there's a lot more that left in disgust. That'll be me. I didn't. I stayed around to review it. Oh, God, I'm still reviewing the Orville's. I think I've got 2 more episodes to go. I'm dreading it, right? I'm absolutely dreading it. Episode 8 was awful. It's like one of the worst pieces of TV ever. Perhaps the greatest downfall of the Chris Chibnall era was the storytelling, you think? Really? His 2 seasons thus far, well, this was before Flux came out, struggled with long-term payoff. Going political without being overzealous. Did they do that? They actually managed to avoid that with Flux, I think. Yeah, finally. If only Flux was their first season, right? They would have done so much better. And nailing the dynamic of TARDIS companions. By contrast, storytelling is Russell Davies' bread and butter. Not only in Doctor Who, but Queer as Folk. It's a Sid Torchwood, i.e. Davies' Bad Wolf arc set the template for season-long narratives. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. While his preference for a less crowded TARDIS worked better than 13's gaggle companions. Well, that's because Rusty Davies wrote characters, right? Whereas Chibnall writes characteristics. And it's just not that engaging. Nobody really gives a damn about any of the Chibnall characters because they're not characters. There's no foibles in them. Like, why do we love Mickey and Captain Jack, even though they're named? They shall not be named. I would really like to say to Noel Clarke and John Barrowman, guys, get together, do an audio series together, do an audio like special, a movie, a pilot together, crowdsource it. You'll do well, mate. You will do well because people want to see you guys back. They really do. I really think they want to see you guys back. And I think honestly, one creates the positions they have in life rather than they're awarded them. If you create an engaging drama, I think the star power of you two would really sell the series. Or sell the special, whatever you want to do. But yeah, we like them because you had foibles. They weren't perfect people. Across the 15 years, the most memorable episodes still held from the Rusty Davies era: Dalek, Empty Child, Blink, Go on the Fireplace, The End of Time. I kind of agree. I mean, I do think Matt Smith's first season was perfect, right? That's as close as a perfect season of Doctor Who as I think you can get. But I think those episodes stand out. They really were. I mean, we had great episodes during Moffat's time. I love Capaldi's Doctor, but yeah, I have to say I think those best episodes really were in the Rusty Davies era. Right, and also it was so exciting because it was popular and nobody ever seen Doctor Who be popular before. It was really bizarre. For a Doctor Who fan, it was really weird. And always surprisingly well, the latter season haven't quite matched the consistent script quality Davies delivered while on Doctor Who. You could argue that Moffat was somewhat distracted by Sherlock, and I think that's a fair argument. I think that final episode of Sherlock would have been an awesome Capaldi episode of Doctor Who with the Missy being the female villain from that in prison, taken over prison for that final episode. I just think that would have been great. Some may perceive. Okay, here we get to the point. Some may perceive rehiring Rusty Davies as a step backwards for Doctor Who. Like an old 1980s glam band getting back together and hoping the magic's still there. Well, no, that's the sour grapes you're hearing. The sour grapes are going, no! No! Chibnall didn't fail! No! Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. The proof is Rusty Davies just came. He couldn't get ready to take over, and Rusty Davies took over instead. Right? But there, by the way, that was a rumor a good year before it happened. Like a good year before it happened that Rusty Davies and Moffat were doing a joint bid to take over Doctor Who, right? But did that rumor have the roots in this? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not though. But maybe. I would love to hear the story of how he came back. Through his projects carry common themes that recognise the hallmarks. Rusty Davies is renowned for a progressive mind who rarely repeats himself. Yeah, listen, I think him speaking out a lot, which he has been, about divisive issues, shall we say, is basically to keep his constituency on board, because I think they're going to be pissed off with him when he retcons this piece of garbage out of reality. Soon may it come. Soon may it come. So anyway, that kind of set the template for Rusty Davies coming back. Ever since then, they vacillate between going, oh no, it was all a failure, to go, oh, Rusty Davies can fix it. So here we're going to look at some of the Rusty Davies can fix it stuff. Let's start over here with this one. By the way, another thing I think that worked in the Chibnall era, this lone Cyberman. If the script didn't work, his rationale didn't work, his demise didn't work, the basic idea was a strong one, though. It was actually a really strong one. And I wish they did something like a crazed Cyberman with was kind of like emotions and superpowers and like somewhere, but it like that took control of it. I really find that a great idea, right? If you're watching Westworld, which is the best thing on TV, I mean, just the best thing on TV, amazingly, it really is. The villain in that is what's her name? She's the same in everything. She's Valkyrie. She's exactly the same in everything. Playing Charlotte Hell, but it would have been a kind of a similar villain, right? It was a really fascinating and terrifying villain. What the hell was her name? I can't remember because she's so forgettable. Right. So Russell Davies' return can redeem one classic series villain. It's not going to be the Lone Sidemen, though. Rusty Davies is back as showrunner for Doctor Who Season 13, along with Ncuti Gatwa as the 14th Doctor, as the Doctor, or the new Doctor, and can redeem an old villain. When do you reckon he's going to make his appearance, Ncuti? I reckon in the 60th, right? Rusty Davies' Season 14 of Doctor Who will see showrunner Russell T. Davies, blah, blah, we said all this, a fresh start presents Davis and his team of writers the perfect chance to redeem Cybermen, which had been consistently mistreated in the revival series. Well, I would say that mistreatment started with their first reintroduction, where first we had like a parallel dimension Cybermen, which were, it was okay, right? It was okay. It wasn't a patch on Spare Parts, which is a Cybermen origin story, which was truly frightening, right? I really, really like that story. Age of Steel or whatever it's called. It was okay. There were some good bits in it. But when we had the Cybermen facing the Daleks, and the Daleks were just so superior, we should listen. It really annoyed me. We had a bunch of Egyptians with spears take down a Dalek before. You know, I've seen that. Right? We've seen natives push a Dalek off a cliff before. You know, we see Cybermen should have been able to take one of them out. For God's sake, that's just kind of stupid. That would have been better, I think. The first appearance of the classic series Cybermen are some of the first appearing in the classic series. The Cybermen are some of the Doctor's most recognizable antagonists. Yeah, they came along with the Master and the Daleks. Yeah, they came about. With Hartnell's regeneration. By the way, by the time this video goes out, there's going to be a rumor circulating, which I don't know if it's true, that the Centenary special will see Joe Martin's Doctor regenerate into Hartnell. God help us. That's the rumor that's going around there, mate. That is the rumor. Wait. They appear, blah, blah, blah. They appear more than a handful of times throughout the eras of David Tennant, Matt Smith, before getting a more prominent role in the finale of Season 8, Capaldi's first season. That really hurt them. And on paper, that was a great story. Dark Water, I mean, on paper, that really should have worked, but on the screen, it died. There's a lot of things that didn't really work, like the Cyber Brigadier and whatever her fiance boyfriend was throughout that. Yeah, a lot of that stuff didn't work, but the Cybermen crawling out graves should have been freaking awesome, right? I did like the Cybermen in the burial scene of what was it, the Rusty Davies one? Was the special the Next Doctor? Was it called the Next Doctor? Yeah, I think so. I really can't remember. But that was awesome. I loved the Cybermen in like the Victorian snow. That was really, really cool. What was it? The story says Missy, an incarnation of the Master, in line with the Cybermen. Not in line with them. No, she creates an army of Cybermen to give, which is brilliant. Again, brilliant scripting idea. So crazy, right? She wants to make friends with the Doctor, so she creates an army of Cybermen to give to him as a gift out of, like, humanity. I love that bonkersness, right? That was really, really good. The Cybermen also play a major role in Capaldi's final regeneration episode, which sees Bill Pott converting the Cybermen. Yeah, listen, I think that's one of his best episodes. I really, really love that. I would have loved to see a few more versions of Cybermen. I would love to have seen like a couple of squadrons of let's say Invasion Cybermen or go straight to Revenge Cybermen. But we should have seen Earthshock Cybermen as well, right? We should have seen a lot more different Cybermen. And that would have been awesome, right? To see them all like facing up against every type of Cybermen, which is kind of what they were doing. And really, can't somebody just CGI that in? We do all these incredible things with CGI nowadays. Can't someone just do that? Wouldn't that be marvelous? The Cybernaut, okay, blah, blah, blah. With both Missy and the Master taking center stage once more. The 30th Doctor also battles a rogue, partially converted Cyberman Ashdad. Yeah, a good idea. Who eventually restores Cybermen to their former glory and creates a new race of Cyber Time Lords hybrids called the Cyber Masters. I hate to say this. I like that. I thought that, okay, realized very badly. But bottom line, a good idea, right? I think that could have been a fun idea if it was done well, right? But it wasn't. Okay, so you see, like, this guy loves the Cybermen. So how's he going to make it any better? The Cybermen's biggest problem in the New Who era is they've been consistently overshadowed by the Master. The same Tzvi Davies can fix a five. Finally gets to the problem. Finally gets the problem. Same Tzvi Davies can fix. Davis' Cybermen stories never saw the Master interact with cyborgs, which gives them a true agency of their own. Well, no, he also had, what's the name? You had the Cyber, whatever it called again, Cyber King, the woman, what's her name? She was an opera singer, wasn't she? They had a couple of opera singers. Was she an opera singer? No, my favourite Christmas special was Christmas Carol, which also had a very attractive opera singer singing some opera in it, or singing something in it, which was, I just love that special. I really do love that special. It was beautiful and painful at the same time. I think it's really one of the best. But I also like the Tennant one. Is that the next Doctor? I'm going to remember all this the minute I stop recording. Fine. But she was overshadowed by whatever her name was. Mrs. Red Dress Woman. Terrifying converted random civilians into characters like alternate timeline. Jackie Tyler, Rose Tyler. This is from the original appearance. This positions them as a real threat and frightening force, not just an army of foot soldiers for the Master to command. Well, that's what actually made it so cool, right? That they were like the real threat, and the Master just made them as a gift. Okay, you're pulling a lot out from one story, which should have been good. The script was pretty good. I just don't know how it didn't work out well. It's really strange. Stephen Moffat's run on Doctor Who, encompassing the 11th and 12th Doctors, contains many promising Cyberman stories, particularly during the compiled final episodes of seasons 8 and 10. First episodes of both these stories, Dark Water and World Enough and Time, makes the Cybermen truly horrifying. It should have done it with Dark Water. It did with World Enough and Time when you saw them being developed, right? When you saw them, when you were like, I just love that episode as well, right? The slow development of Cybermen over time with John Sims' Master in Disguise, like playing a long game. I really love that episode, right? I think that owes a lot more to Spare Parts than what's it called again? Age of Steel. Rise? Was it Rise of the Cybermen? I can't remember. I think Age of Steel. I mean, the only thing I really liked about that was Roger Lloyd Pack as the Cyberman Davros. He had a great line, which was clearly written by Tzvi Davies, like "skin of steel" and blah. I can't remember. That was great. I love that line. Where are we up to? Dark Water shows people with their consciousness still intact after death, before conversion, while World Enough and Time shows a slow transformation of people of Mondas into Cybermen. No, he made Mondasian Cybermen, but it wasn't Mondas. It was on a spaceship. However, both episodes were undercut by the Master Miss's involvement. Fair enough. I think that was true of. I think the Cybermen were undercut, sort of, but I don't think so, because I think that's what made this so cool. That the Master was using something so insanely deadly and ferocious as the Cybermen as a plot point, right? I thought that's what made it, I think, really work and really quite scary. But I did like the slow transformation, right? That and I love the component, a Mondosian Cyberman. That was freaking awesome, right? I think that was Capaldi's idea as well. However, both episodes, again, Master Missing involvement. Davies understands Cybermen need to have agency to be frightening and can bring them back to the series. This is a bit of a long-winded article to get to basically nothing, I think. Really? Okay. Chris Gimmel's season 12 initially looked promising. Return of the Cybermen with the holding of Villa Dildo, which I was calling Diati. That is a shit episode. You know why it's a shit episode? Because it's boring. It's a boring episode with great Cybermen in it, and the Doctor being a blithering moron. Right, Captain Jack comes through space and time to give an important message. Don't give this thing to the Cybermen, and then she does, and she's like, "Here, give them. I'll sort it out later." No, you won't. You're the most incompetent Doctor there's ever been. Right? It's like they say John Simm's the most incompetent master. Far more competent than Jodie Whittaker. The episode also sees the Cyber Masters. Where are they? So they're saying that's undercut by the Timeless Child. Fair enough. Okay, fine. Blah 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 blah. Well, David, fix this, please. Please fix it. Please. Okay, fine. So we have a similar article over here. This is more recent. This is only from 2 days ago. This was from Game Rat and Screen Rat must be by the same company, but because they do have kind of like repeating material. But again, we have exactly the same thing, right? Exactly the same stupidity coming back over here. Doctor Who's new era should take inspiration from this beloved David Tennant arc. No, it shouldn't. It should go forward and do something new, right? Which is why it's exciting, right? Which is something I don't think that Christian ever could do. He tried to do something new. It's the same with I think Alex Kurtzman as well. When they try and do something new, all best you get is some uncomfortable karaoke of retreading ideas that have worked before, which I think is kind of like a recurring theme within Christian Gimmel's Doctor Who. There's always like things that have worked before that he ripped off because he's just not very good at his job. Bottom line, that's really it. He's just not very good at his job. David Tennant's final few episodes as the Doctor are some of the best of the whole series. Are they? No, people argue that The End of Time was a weak send-off for him. I liked it. I thought it was good, but it was clearly past its sell-by date by that time, right? Honestly, I think it was. I thought Jonah's End was fantastic. I think that was the completion of the Russell Davies era. But even then, it's reached outpaced its grasp, right? The depiction of the shadow, what's it called again? The Shadow Proclamation was really unimpressive. And it should have been teeming city of something or other. It should have been like Deep Space Nine. It was just empty. And it was just like they couldn't do it. They got too big, right? Got too big. You could probably do it now with the Sony money behind them. But that's really where it ended. And then his final year, the specials were just going on steam, right? They was kind of going on steam. They had decent stuff in that year. I would say it's all reasonably skippable. If you talk about essential Doctor Who, you got what was it? Planet of the Dead. That's totally skippable, even though it's got Michelle Ryan in it being super hot. Who she really can't help being super hot because she's super hot. Then you had what was it? Waters of Mars. Not a bad creepy horror story. Again, it's kind of skippable, right? It's kind of skippable. Kind of. I mean, he regenerates in it, but it wasn't as. I don't think it was the strongest stuff. Fine. Doctor Who's most beloved, influential science fiction series of all time. Yeah, it was between that and Star Trek. It's certainly between that and Star Trek. It's around the two. The fingerprints of the British show, which began in the 60s, are all over most of popular TV today. Loki and Legends of Tomorrow are two bad echoes of Doctor Who. Despite the influence it's had on science fiction, Doctor Who is in a bit of a flux, pun intended, with clearly being a time of transition for the series. Yes, it's been shit. Right? It's been shit. Okay, so they go through telling about how it was great. Oh, 2005, Chris Eklund. It was great, Matt Smith. Oh, fantastic about it. Yeah. And then we had Jodie Whittaker. Yeah, okay, so it's bad time, right? As Tzvi Davies returns as showrunner, having previously held excellent Tennant eras, Doctor Who should look at the Tennant's Journey's End, which ended his regeneration. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It will end the time. No, it didn't. I agree with you. That thematically ended his regeneration, right? But it was end of time. Okay. The poor writing of more recent seasons, Chibnall, has left Doctor Who in such a state that a reset of sorts is essential if the show is to continue. Oh, really? Really? Weren't you just telling me the other day it was the best it's ever? Yeah, I think you were, weren't you? BBC reportedly became immensely concerned with the decline of the popularity a few years ago. They didn't become concerned with it. They fucking caused it. They actively caused it. It was their idiot ideas. You can see it creeping in at the end of Capaldi. Oh, with Capaldi, in fact. It was common purpose. It was the platforming ideas. Yet they caused it. They were concerned their idiot ideas weren't working. They were concerned, but were they concerned that they were failing altogether? I don't think so. They said, oh yeah, we're failing. Let's just do it more. Well, it's the worst ratings ever. Let's give him another 6 episodes. No, let's make it 8. No, let's make it 9, you fucking idiots. What do you expect is going to happen? God. The arrogance and the incompetence of our worshipful masters at the BBC and the elites around the world, breathtaking, right? Here's the thing, the elites that run the world, and we do have an elite class. You could have stayed elite forever, right? If you just didn't fuck up, but you did. So I reckon it's over for you, mate. Lowest a few years ago, citing popularity, lowest viewership ratings of this century, and of last century as well. It gets lower ratings than ever, right? If you compare the ratings accurately, you get the live if you put live ratings against live ratings, not even close. Like on Jodie's special, the last one is like 1.5 million, whereas the live ratings for McCoy's lowest rated story, which was the lowest rated one before, was like 3.2, I believe. So not even close, under half. And it's not really fair because people do watch an iPlayer, but not that much. I'm sorry, right? I am sorry. Bad reviews to boot. This isn't to place any of the blame on Jodie Whittaker. Why not? Why not? This isn't to place any of the blame on the most noticeable thing in the series. Really? That's like saying, oh yeah, Afghanistan and the economy is tanking and recession. But don't blame Joe Biden. Why not? He did it. Fucking idiots. The first film on Doctor has brought freshness and youthful excitement to has generally been that is genuinely fun to watch. No, it's not fun to watch. I would rather have a fish shoved up my ass. It was fucking awful. Oh, generally fun to watch. Really? Oh, yeah. If you're a weird masochist, that lives in the BBC, in between board meetings, they're really slamming their balls into drawers. Oh, yeah, very good Sadakin. Boo! Let's get some more common purpose in. Yeah, it was fun if you're into that. Unfortunately, though, Whittaker had to carry the show through some dull and often plot-heavy storylines from the current and outgoing showrunner. Look, she read the script. If she's so brilliant, couldn't she have realised when she read the script, went, oh my God, this is shit. They're making the Doctor into a moron, right? On paper, the arrival of Christian as head writer made a lot of sense, yes. It actually did. I had no idea it'll be this bad, right? Absolutely not. Fine. I was an incredibly bright start. Dr. Table again, blah, blah, blah. Bringing Tzvi Davies back into the fold again seems like a smart move. Yeah, because Chibnall's completely fucked up. That is correct. But he must be careful not to repeat some of the mistakes of his predecessors. He is his predecessor, you fucking idiot! Generally speaking, his previous run as showrunner is one of the best received time in the new iteration of the show. So why are you, little idiot brain, in all your arrogance, lecturing him? Oh, yes, we understand he was brilliant, but he better be careful. Okay. Tennant had something truly unique with his vibrant, energetic performance. It was never my favorite Doctor. Really? I like all the Doctors, but okay, who would I rather watch over Tennant? Capaldi, Matt Smith, Chris Eccleston, McGann, Seth McCoy, Tom Baker. It depends. Selected. Colin, I put Colin Baker and Peter Davies on the same level as with Tennant. Pertwee, Troughton, or Hartnell. Right, fine. Okay, so he's not my favourite one at all. Mutter doing Tennant era was superb, which in a way proves, which is in a way further proven by the fact that the best aspects of Matt Smith's time came as the show taped into a style and storylines of what came, fine, blah, blah, tapped into. Fine, not tapped. Okay, still, Davies has a huge job to rebuild the series. You kept telling us it was the best as ever, mate. You kept telling us it was the best as ever. After many viewers jumped ship in the past few years, the best route he can take is direct information from that final arc. No, best route he can take is not listening to anyone and doing what he thinks is right. Not listening to anybody. Go with creative instincts. And it might not work, but that's the best route he can take. When the Master was wreaking havoc before the Doctor regenerated, this arc was near perfection as it depicted the Doctor as a wise yet youthful Time Lord, one whom the audience felt a great connection to. If Ncuti Gatwa's version of the Doctor can have a similar emotional impact on viewers, then I mean the new era. Really? Really? That's the rocket science you came out. David Tennant was very popular, right? If Ncuti Gatwa is very popular, he will be very popular too! Who wrote this for you? Kamala Harris? What the hell? Right, I wonder how long it took them to come up with that idea. Wait a minute. David Tennant was popular! Maybe we should do that again! Okay, fine. The reason it's going to be a success is I think Rusty Davies can write. I think he can deliver an enjoyable experience, and that's all it does. Canon doesn't matter, logic doesn't matter, nothing matters other than being an enjoyable experience for the viewer, right? And oftentimes canon and logic does matter in producing that, but that's the only factor that matters. If the person watching it enjoys it, has a good time, then they will come back. Now, it's bringing a lot of new people in with Yasmin Finney, with Ncuti Gatwa, with David Tennant, bringing a lot of new people in with that. As long as he entertains them in this cultural wasteland, this barren landscape of utter dirge, where everything is just lecturing you left, right, and center. If he can produce entertaining episodes, then they're staying. It's going to be the most successful ever. The stakes are also incredibly high in these final episodes, which is natural to an extent, given the audience knew it was the final time in Tennant role. Still, Jodie Whittaker, with just one episode left, oh God, please leave us alone, as a Doctor, and yet stakes seem virtually non-existent. Excuse me, they've destroyed the universe. Entire perception of self is being shattered. So that seems pretty high. At this point, they did their best to up the stakes, but it does. Upping the stakes doesn't mean upping the stakes. You've got to have characters you care about, which you don't in the Chibnall era. That's really the bottom line. You don't have characters that you care about. At this point, our outing seems more like a formality or a final hump to get over before moving on to this new era. That's exactly what it is. Again, this isn't Whittaker's thought. Well, I mean, listen, what's the name? From Broadchurch and Peep Show and The Crown, who's doing very well. What's her name? She turned down the role quite smartly, so kind of is her fault somewhat. Although, I mean, is it her fault because she was a moron and she didn't realize how much? You can't really blame somebody for being stupid, right? It's not her fault if she's a moron, which she appears to be. Again, this is another thought, although at the time of writing, it has a below par, which seems unfair place to put blame on any one person. No, I'll blame it on Whittaker and Shomron together. Whoever or whatever the problem is with the show, taking inspiration from the final episodes of the Tennant era would be a great footing for the new run. please. Desperation, right? That is just utter desperation, mate. I'm sorry. Will Russell Davies come and fix it? We all bloody do. Just people like me don't have egg on their face saying it didn't need fixing for the last few years. Well, you do, right? So there you go. Will Russell Davies come and save us? Will he be the saviour for Doctor Who? I don't know. I hope he will be, right? Time indeed will tell. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.